The dehumanizing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler is once again alive and well on a national political stage. This time, of course, in the United States. This time given life by former president and current Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump.
Let's recognize this comment for what it is, a long-standing anti-Semitic trope that the true allegiance for Jews is to their religion rather than their country. It was used in Nazi Germany to justify the arrests, persecutions, and mass killings, attempted extermination of the Jewish people. And Trump has been pushing this trope for years.
He talks about the blood of America as being poisoned, echoing the same exact language used in Nazi Germany.
Well, first of all, it takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently
stop this interview if you're going to keep
President
attacking
Trump
my
to Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you
I'm
continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. And as you can see, we are seeing that the Kasie Hunt, which is the CNN host there, cutting off what you call Karoline's mic. You know, that's kind of like what they do. They consistently do this over and over again. Just because for exposing Jake Tapper and Daisy or what have about the whole situation here, right? And that's the funny thing. Now, if we go and kind of do a little bit of research here and kind of what's going on, she has her biases too. She is not free of this, and it's like whenever you're trying to expose them and whatever, they have to silence you. You're not letting your guests speak and what have you, and we're going to go over that. So what we have here, with what she said, is just, you can come on my show, you respect my colleagues, period. I don't care what side of the aisle you stand on, as my track record clearly shows. No, you do care. You very, very well do care. Because if you didn't care, you would let this woman speak. She wasn't making fun of your colleagues. She was calling out your colleagues for what the actual biases that they have against Donald Trump. And of course, we have this, right? Where this doesn't show where you're not biased here. See, you say that you don't care what people side of the aisle you stand on, but this is kind of a problem here, right? Like, we see this here, right? And again, we have more crazy stuff. So I'm going to show you the full actual clip of her talking about this, and one extra special information where people are not realizing what's happening to Jake Tapper, because, oh boy, it's a doozy.
That's why he was in Detroit, Michigan last week. He was in Philadelphia for a big rally on Saturday night. And that's why President Trump is knowingly going into a hostile environment on this very network, on CNN, with debate moderators who have made their opinions about him very well known over the past 8 years and their biased coverage of him. So President Trump is willing to bring his message to every corner of this country, to voters, to ensure that he wins this election in November. He looks forward to doing that. And I know the American public look forward to hearing from him.
So I'll just say my colleagues, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, have acquitted themselves as professionals as they have covered campaigns and interviewed candidates from all sides of the aisle. I'll also say that if you talk to analysts of debates previous, that if you're attacking the moderators, you're usually losing. So I really want to focus in on what these two men are going to do and say when they stand on the stage. Now, what do you expect from Joe Biden?
Well, first of all, it takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently frequently likened President Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome to come back and speak about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will have equal time to Joe Biden when they both join us now at later this week in Atlanta for this debate. Our thanks.
So yeah, that is a full clip, and she was only doing what is, great, right? Only what was exposing Jake Tapper for his biases, and same thing with the other people. But what we have here is something more crazy. We have CNN's Jake Tapper at center of defamation lawsuit as he prepares to host presidential debate. So again, it says here that the lawsuit and CNN's defense that is produced opinion, not factual news, may add fuel to the critics of the network, which has long faced accusations of bias. CNN presidential debate moderator Jake Tapper's show is at the center of a defamation lawsuit by a consulting company which alleges that the network and one of its reporters lied about the company's work. The network's defense, CNN did not intend to harm, and its language was opinion or ambiguous. Tapper is set to co-host the first presidential debate next Thursday, which is being hosted by his network. The host has come under scrutiny from former President Donald Trump, who is set to participate in the debate for partially calling him fake Jake Tapper. But as the well-known CNN personality gears up for that debate, he also finds himself in the middle of a lawsuit against his employer by security consulting firm Nemex Enterprise and its owner Zachary Taylor, who worked to help evacuate Afghanis following the chaotic Taliban takeover of that country. Jake Tapper started his career working for a Democratic politician and has never been able to shake the habit. Trying to run cover for Biden's disastrous pullout from Afghanistan, he and the CNN show Slimed a Hero saved the lives of those Biden just put in jeopardy. Now, CNN is facing $1 billion defamation lawsuit. At the same time, Jake Tapper will be moderating the presidential debate featuring the politician he lied for. So, yeah, that is what's going on here with Jake Tapper. He is being sued for bias. And this is the problem with Kasie Hunt. She's saying like, oh, you don't call out my my colleagues about the biases or attacking them, when obviously Karoline was not attacking them. She was calling out what they actually said on their CNN. That's what she's done. And of course we have this as well. CNN faces defamation lawsuit over Afghanistan withdrawal story, evidence of actual malice. So, again, we need to talk about on how constantly CNN is panicking, running scared because of the mere fact that this is what's going on here, right? What the reality of everything. And let's not get this bloody twisted here. Let's not forget that you are also incredibly biased yourself. Kasie, here's an actual screenshot here saying Joe Biden is rising to his moment. Watching this rally makes it very clear how and why Donald Trump is struggling against Joe Biden. The attacks just don't land the way they did against Hillary Clinton. Joe Biden wouldn't say if he's talked to Mitch McConnell. I'm just struck by the reality that we'll now have a president who, as a rule, doesn't lie even when it might be easier. And then we have, of course, this where again, CNN producer John Griffin arrested for attempting to persuade minors to engage in unlawful sexual activity. So again, you guys have legitimate people here that have gone out, have done atrocious things on CNN specifically, and you just don't want that to be exposed. You don't want your colleagues called out on the lies and the bias that you have during the Trump thing. And you also went to go shut down Karoline because you don't want her exposing the actual truth of the matter of what Jack Tapper did and the rest of your co-hosts. So again, this is a biased thing, is completely against Trump. And you just try to shut it off because obviously this is what you do. You can't control yourself in the evil tree that you do. It's pretty obvious. If you wanted the reality, if you were not biased, if you did not mind who comes onto your what aisle you stand on, then you would not shut her off. That's what you wouldn't do. Because obviously, if you go and do that, it shows it. And again, Jake Tapper here. In a lawsuit for defamation. So this is not looking good for CNN, and this is making Kasie Hunt look more like a fool. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.